Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. The Jets in white to your right are ready to kick the ball off. A beautiful day in Cincinnati. Temperature about 60, clear sunny skies. Although the lights are on already, this, of course, will be a game that'll carry into dust. There are the deep men to receive for the Bengals who've won the toss. Mike Martin is back along with Stanford Jennings as Pat Leahy hits the ball deep. Stanford Jennings lets it go out. And so the ball comes to the Bengal 20-yard line, and Cincinnati goes on offense, 1st and 10, led by number 7, a player they're most excited about, Boomer Esiason, young quarterback from Maryland. Coming in, having a couple of big games, he quarterbacked the Bengals to their upset win over the Steelers on Monday night at Pittsburgh. And that has really buoyed this Cincinnati team. They could be ready now to ignite and take off in their division as they did a year ago when they got their first win. Esiason will have in his backfield to start the game Kermit Alexander and James Brooks. Brooks is the deep back in the I set. Jets jamming the front as Esiason goes to Brooks in the little back. Former San Diego Charger turns the corner, and he is out to the 26-yard line. A gain of 6 yards. So Brooks, with that good quickness, dips to the outside and gets 7. Rest of the Cincinnati offense, Eddie Brown in white, the rookie wide receiver, a great one out of Miami, and Collinsworth is a 3-time Pro Bowl player. Anthony Munoz, the left tackle, consensus All-Pro 4 straight years. The biggest offensive line in football, Cincinnati. Averages over 290 pounds a man. 2nd down and a long 3 now. Up the middle goes Alexander, big back from LSU, hits to the 30, and Trumpy could have a 1st down.
Don, I noticed the Jets are starting with a 4-man front. They are the last team in the AFC to go to the 34, but add Gastineau to that defensive line, expecting, I believe, the Bengals to throw a lot.
Leading tacklers for the Jets are the inside linebackers Lance Mell and Kyle Clifton. The secondary of the Jets is nicked. They got some injured people playing today. Johnny Lynn has moved over to left corner to start for Bobby Jackson, who's out. Russell Carter's hurt, but he's starting. Gary Hamilton was banged up last week in the win over Indianapolis. The carry was just short of a 1st down for the Bengals, so it's 3rd down and less than a yard. James Brooks over the top and out to the 32, and Cincinnati moves the chain markers and gets 4 new downs, keeping the drive alive as Marty Lyons made the stop. James Brooks, number 21, was twice, while a San Diego Charger, the all-purpose yardage leader in the National Football League when you consider rushing, receiving yardage, and kick return. And he's doing well this year for Cincinnati.
His performance last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, his best as a Cincinnati Bengal.
Came here in a trade, sent Big Pete Johnson out to San Diego. The man who never lifted a weight or watched his own, he ate himself out of the league. Brooks is contributing on 1st down now. Cincinnati's Boomer Esiason sends Brooks in motion. He can run. Boomer Esiason gets out to the 39-yard line. A pickup of about 7 yards on the play. Ron Perot, an outside backer, brought him down.
Jets again went back to the 34 defense, Don, after the initial series. You see Joe Klecko, 73, free on Boomer Esiason. Esiason feels the pressure and finally tucks the ball in, picks up about 6 or 7 yards.
Moving right out now. Going to be 2nd and a long 2. Esiason told us before the game, he said Sam White's the coach, told him to run when he wants, but don't take on linebackers. You're as big as a linebacker, but you don't hit like him. Esiason 6'4", 220. James Brooks doesn't get much, did get a yard or 2 out across the Bengal 40-yard line. The last 2 times the Jets have played the Cincinnati Bengals in the regular season, they've blown them away. Pittsburgh, a big upset in the making, perhaps, of the Orange Bowl in Miami with time to play. Cleveland has come from behind on a Kevin Mack touchdown run and leads the New England Patriots in the 4th quarter at Cleveland. San Francisco with Montana throwing for 4 touchdowns. Blown away winless Atlanta. Right now the Bengals have 3rd down and less than 2. Power set to the left. That's where they're going. Oh, he's going to throw the ball. Esiason stands in. He's got a man open. Dan Ross, the tight end, and he's down to the Jet 38. Great play call, great execution, and a fake held the Jet linebackers, and Dan Ross, a former All-Pro player, is ahead for a 19-yard gain.
One of the things you got to like about the Cincinnati offense, the 2nd leading scoring offense in the NFL, they run so darn many things, Don. Good play action fake. Held the linebackers at the line of scrimmage. Dan Ross right where the linebackers would normally be in a drop and a big 1st down pickup by the Bengals.
So the Bengals now move to the Jets side of the field. There's no score in the first quarter. Bengals moving after they took the opening kickoff. Touchback, and they started from their 20. Esiason on first down. Out of time. He gets Eddie Brown. And fleet. Eddie Brown gets down to the 26-yard line, but there are 2 penalty markers down in the Bengal backfield.
Obviously, whatever this penalty is, there is no doubt in anybody's mind that there is a penalty. 2 flags, holding against Cincinnati. It'll all come back.
Now, while we have a moment, let's switch to New York to Bob Costas and NFL 85. Bob?
Don, with less than a minute to play at the Orange Bowl, rookie Lorenzo Hampton's 2-yard touchdown run gave the Dolphins the lead over the Steelers. Then this Paul Langford interception locked it up. It's a final now. The Dolphins win it 24-20. And Phil Niekro just completed a shutout at Toronto. He's got 300 wins. Don?
Thank you, Bob. A big day for Niekro and the Yankees, albeit a losing effort in their chase of Toronto. Of course, the American League Championship Series opens Tuesday night on NBC Sports. It'll be chilly on the shores of Lake Ontario, but the baseball action heats up this week on NBC. Kansas City going in to play the Blue Jays at Toronto in the opener on Tuesday night. Right now, we have no score in the first quarter. Bengals, after the holding call, go 1st and 20. Here comes James Brooks. Across midfield, and James Brooks is down to the 45-yard line. Got some, but not much.
One of the things the New York Jets do is they'll try very hard to look like the Chicago Bear defense. Here you see 3 defensive linemen, Klecko, Gastineau down inside. An excellent block by Mike Wilson, but unfortunately Mark Gastineau, one of the greatest defensive linemen you can find in the game, is playing with one arm with that big cast on his right thumb.
We'd like to welcome all of you who've been viewing the Miami Dolphins as they've come from behind to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Cincinnati. Bengals have the ball, 2nd and 18. No score in the first quarter. Boomer Esiason hits his man. Coming out and taking the ball down is Mike Martin. He keeps working inside the 35-yard line as Russell Carter knocked him down.
So far, a very basic offense by the Cincinnati Bengals. Good pass protection here. You see 56 Mel on the blitz. Esiason just steps up, and you see too much of a cushion allowed by Russell Carter of the New York Jets. An easy pickup by Mike Martin, bringing up about 3rd and 3.
Esiason's done good work. Has thrown for 7 touchdowns since he's taken over as the starter. Has been intercepted just twice. 3rd down, a long 3 now for the Bengals. Jets are a-coming. Esiason has a man, and he strikes down to the 25-yard line. Gary Hamilton made the hard stick on Mike Martin, but the Bengals are ahead for a 1st down.
Now, this is no surprise with the injuries to the defensive backs of the New York Jets. You see them going with a 4-man front. There's Mark Gastineau on Mike Wilson. A little fake block, and that leaves man-to-man coverage behind it. A ball well thrown by Esiason. Watch him stand in there. That's one of the things they like about Boomer Esiason, and he does have a very strong arm.
Like his coach Sam White says, Trump, he can throw it a long way, and it doesn't take long to get there when he does.
That's true.
Left-hander, though, it's been some adjustment by his receivers, and he throws hard. Bengals driving. First possession, no score, and James Brooks takes into the Jet defense off the right side of his line. Mike Wilson and Max Montoya. Big day for Niekro and the Yankees. Let's go back to NFL 85. Bob?
Don, here's the last out in Toronto, completing a 4-hitter. Pinch hitter Jeff Burrows swings and misses. It's career win number 300 for Phil Niekro. At age 46, he is also the oldest man in big league history ever to pitch a shutout, and the celebration continues in Toronto. Don?
And he's not done yet.
One of the game's great guys, too.
He's coming back, apparently.
As a manager, as a player.
He's not going to manage Atlanta, I'm told. Here is a handoff going up the middle to Alexander, who's down to the 23-yard line. As Klecko made the stop on him. Now, I think he's coming back as a player.
Really? For the New York Yankees.
$600,000 a year.
Hey, you don't make that as a manager, that's for sure. So far, Cincinnati Bengals have handled this New York Jet defense rather well. Jets showing an awful lot of different fronts, a different look. But the Bengals faced almost the same defense last Monday night in Pittsburgh. It may be an advantage to them.
Bengals moving the ball with a diverse play call. Esiason throwing very well to lead off the game now. There's no score. 3rd down and 8 coming up. Esiason's looking at James Brooks. Lets it go, and Brooks goes into the end zone, and catches it, but out of bounds.
There's a flag down, Don. I think the New York Jets lined up offsides.
James Brooks had the defense beaten, but was flying out of bounds when he grabbed the ball.
They have had receivers open.
They really have. Collinsworth has been open a lot. Haven't gone to him yet. Ben Dreith is our referee today on a perfect day in Cincinnati.
Oh, this is a big penalty. Holding against the New York Jets.
There's Sam White. He sends in the play to Boomer Esiason.
Defensive holding, number 29. That's 5 yards, and that's a first down.
Got Johnny Lynn.
He was the man in coverage on James Brooks, too.
Jets have improved their defense markedly since a year ago under new defensive coordinator Bud Carson. Boomer Esiason with 2 wide receivers set to the left. First down and 10 for Cincinnati. Esiason guns the ball, and he's got Eddie Brown, who's down to the 12-yard line. A pickup about 6 on the play.
See that movement by Boomer Esiason, Don? Just enough to avoid the rush. That's not movement to make yards. That's movement to buy time. Now watch Eddie Brown in tandem with Chris Collinsworth, taking advantage of the zone, just finding the dead spot, which is the most difficult thing for a rookie receiver to try to learn in the NFL. Just find that dead spot. Now it's the quarterback's job to get me the ball.
Chris Collinsworth says of 81 Eddie Brown, by the time he's done, he might be the best in the business. Too quick to jam at the line and too fast to cover deep, and he'll go anywhere. A lot of heart. Esiason making the name himself if he can, and he's into the end zone. It's touchdown Cincinnati. Boomer booms in a 12-yard run, and the Bengals are on the board on their opening drive.
12 yards, his longest run from scrimmage. The Jets, I believe, did the right thing. They had receivers well covered. That's linebackers' responsibility to get that quarterback before he gets to the end zone. A good run by Boomer. Bengals on the board.
Boomer's got a lot of friends here that flew in from New York for the game. They're Jet fans, he said, but they came to root both ways today. He's from East Islip, Long Island. The extra point is hit up and good by Jim Brees. And so the Bengals, with a very impressive drive, take the ball down the field and go into the end zone. Boomer Esiason on the payoff end as the quarterback runs 12 yards.
The thing you like here once again, Don, is that he senses the pressure from the left. It's a blitz by Jackson. He just senses the pressure. And watch this little fake with the pass. Knocks the linebacker back and then shows a little bit of mobility there to get in the end zone. I didn't know he was a scat back.
He can go, and big Anthony Munoz, Trump, the left tackle, has been knocking some people down for Cincinnati.
I noticed that the Jets are choosing to put Mark Gastineau on the near side of the Bengals offense, which is the Mike Wilson side, and avoiding Anthony Munoz.
So the Bengals, who can score a lot, they're averaging 30 points a game. Their problem is giving up points. They're giving up about 36 a game, go on the board and take a 7-0 lead, a most impressive one. Look at the amount of time they ate up with it.
That's the longest drive they've had this season. Started at their 20, 13 plays.
Bengal drives have looked like track meets this year. Bengal games, they've given up 1,000 yards almost in the last 2 games to San Diego and Pittsburgh. Problem on the far side of the field. Coming up with the ball is Johnny Hector, but he's going to be knocked down. He didn't get Bobby Humphrey is going to be knocked down at about the 10-yard line. Knuckleball kickoff. So Pat Ryan and the offense will come out and they'll start in a hole. Raymond McNeil, the leading rusher in the American Conference, starts as the runner, and he's eaten up Cincinnati the last 2 times. Joe Fields is back at center, Pro Bowl center for the New York Jets. That's a big addition to have back in the lineup. As the Jets now trailing 7-0, go first and 10 from their 11. Townsell and Sohn are on the flanks. Wesley Walker, though, is healthy. He's back, and he'll be in the game. Good throw, and Townsell takes the ball out to the 24-yard line. Timing pattern, good for a 13-yard gain for the Jets.
Freeman McNeil has beaten up this team so much that you can see the attention already they paid to him. Freeman McNeil comes out in motion. Watch the hole that Townsell finds in the zone. There's nobody within 5 yards of him. O'Brien just a good high percentage pass, right on the money. Good enough for a first down pickup.
2 weeks ago, the Bengals gave up 515 yards offense to San Diego. Here's a timing pattern downfield, and Sohn comes down with a football at the 47-yard line of Cincinnati.
Outstanding catch.
And a beautifully timed throw, so the Jets come right back and hit big.
Sohn, who has come back from unbelievable knee surgery, the defensive back, Ray Horton, never looks back at the quarterback. So Sohn has the advantage of concentrating on the football. It's a very acrobatic catch, 29 yards on the pickup.
And the Jets trailing 7-0 in the first quarter now. Break the huddle with Al Toon in the lineup. He's on the near flank, the bottom of your screen. Johnny Hector running hard and well as he's down to the 41-yard line of Cincinnati. Tim Crumry, the nose tackle, knocked him down. Eddie Edwards, Tim Crumry, and Ross Browner. Jet coaches feel Browner's playing the best of his career. Williams is the best linebacker on the right outside. Zander, a rookie from Tennessee, starting in the middle. That's been a problem area for Cincinnati. They're big, they're backers, but they're not real quick. And the safeties have had their problems. Cincinnati's given up a lot of yards and a lot of points. And right now the Jets go 2nd down and 4. Freeman McNeil. He's down to the 37-yard line, and he has a first down for the Jets. Ross Browner knocked him down. They're double teaming Ross Browner.
They'd also like to, Freeman McNeil would like to play in this ballpark every single time. Look at those yards against the Cincinnati Bengals. At 83 performance, that was in the playoffs, the Super Bowl tournament. And that's the secret. If the Bengals can stop Freeman McNeil today, and it looks like they're paying a lot of attention to him, they got a chance to win. If they don't, the Jets will walk all over this Bengal football team.
Right now, the Bengals have the lead. They drove 80 yards with their first possession. Esiason ran in from 12 yards out. It's 7-0 Cincinnati. O'Brien, too high. Looking at JoJo Townsell, and there was a big rush put on by Browner, and O'Brien saw the end of that play from flat in his back.
It's one of the dangers of being a quarterback. They pay you a lot of money, but you do tend to end up on the turf.
So now, with the ball spotted at the 36-yard line, 2nd down arises for the Jets. Temperature's about 60 degrees. It's perfect football weather in Cincinnati. Last year, the Bengals lost their first 5, then won 8 of their last 11 and just missed the playoffs. O'Brien with a problem, and down he goes. Eddie Edwards coming from the left end got him. Crumry up the middle. They got all 3 down linemen with a 3-man rush, and they beat the Jet blocking.
And one of the surprising things about this Jet offense is the number of sacks they've allowed, but that's somewhat of a misnomer because in the opening game of the season against the Raiders, they allowed 10 sacks. And O'Brien is a young man who will continue to get up. For the Bengals, so far this season, they've not really gotten to the quarterback a great many times, just their 10th sack of the season so far, Don.
Yeah, the Jets gave up 10 sacks in that opening loss to the Raiders and have allowed only 6 since then. That was the 7th since the Raider game, 17 to the season. Now it's 3rd down and over 20. Play is whistled dead as the Jets might have misfired. Clock stop with 2 minutes and 26 seconds to play in the first quarter, and the Bengals are in the lead 7-0.
All start offense, number 53.
Scoreboard changing at this 5th Sunday of play. O'Brien's now thrown 3 times, has completed 2 for 41 yards. Miami came back to beat Pittsburgh on a late touchdown run by Lorenzo Hampton at the Orange Bowl. And Cleveland came from behind on a touchdown run by Kevin Mack and beat the Patriots 24-20. San Francisco rolling behind the right arm of Joe Montana. The Bears were down 12-0 in that game, but have come back to lead and quite possibly stay unbeaten through 5 games. 3rd and long yardage. Going for the ball, and Wesley Walker comes down with a football. All the way down to the 13-yard line, so Walker's first play is good for a big gainer all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
That's Wesley Walker's first catch of the 1985 season. And out with a knee injury, he's got great speed. Louis Breeden in coverage, and once again you see the receiver looking back, the defensive back not until the last moment. Too late to adjust to the ball. I tell you what, Pittsburgh beat up these cornerbacks last week. I imagine the Jets are going to try to do the exact same thing, Don.
They'll be going after him. 37-yard gain on that throw. Wesley Walker's first catch of the year is a big one, and now the pitch back. Here comes Freeman McNeil. Stuck hard at the 10-yard line. He got about 3. Bobby Kemp, the strong safety, and enforcer in the secondary, got him along with Xander.
This is Tony Page territory, too. Lead blocker for Freeman McNeil.
How do you figure that one? Green Bay went into that game, Trump, 1-3. The Lions were 3-1.
And Dickey started. And Dickey started, too.
Doesn't matter who coaches Buffalo. I think they've run up the white flag in Buffalo.
Inauspicious debut for Hank Bull as a head coach.
Now, second down coming up. Second down and 6 for the first down. Second and 9 for a touchdown for the Jets, who trail 7-0. Ryan over the middle, and Tony Page gets it. He's close to the goal line, but not in. Power back from Virginia Tech. The coaches and the players all rave about the contribution of Tony Page as a leader, as a player.
Tough cookie. You see O'Brien, the teaching of Zeke Bratkowski showing here, looking all over the field, finding Page just standing there, and then watch his toughness. He breaks 4 tackles and gets the ball to about the 3-yard line.
A couple of more finals in the books now on this 5th Sunday of play. Chicago has indeed defeated Tampa Bay 27-19. The Bears go to 5-0, and New Orleans held on after building up a big lead to beat the Eagles 23-21. Jets first and goal. Page hits up the middle, and the Jets are in the end zone. Trump, this could end up being a last at bat game.
Well, the New York Jets last week scored on their first 6 possessions. They had 4 field goals and 2 touchdowns. And this time they get it in the end zone. Watch the power of Tony Page. Breaking blocks once again. And he is flat in the end zone. That drive didn't take as long, but there's just 13 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Pat Leahy's out, ready to try the point after. Hit 4 of 4 field goal tries against the Colts. Did miss an extra point. Leahy drills it up and through, and with 13 seconds to play in the first quarter, Joe Walton's Jets have tied it up. It is a 7-7 game. We welcome those of you who've just watched the Colts blow away the Buffalo Bills. We're at Cincinnati, where the Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Jets are tied 7-7.
Each team has had the ball once. Both have scored. Johnny Hector and Page. Watch the power in Page as he gets up into the line of scrimmage. A great job done by the center and the 2 guards for the New York Jets. Fields, Alexander, and Sweeney. And there wasn't a lot of work for Page to do to get in the end zone.
Well, if you like touchdowns, I think you've come to the right place today on NBC Sports, because the Bengals score a lot and they give up a lot, as the Jets have just illustrated, going right through the Cincinnati defense to tie the game 7-7 with just 13 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Interesting thing is, too, that the Cincinnati Bengals defense did a decent job against Pittsburgh last Monday night. They gave up a lot of yards, but they also came up with a big play to stop a lot of drives.
Leahy ready to kick it off, as back deep now for Cincinnati are Stanford Jennings and Mike Martin. Bengals come in with a 1-3 record. The Jets 3-1, looking to maintain a share of first place are the Jets in the AFC East, with Miami a victory already today over the Steelers. Well hit ball again by Leahy. It's out of the end zone on the fly, so it again comes out to the 20, and the Bengals will go on offense with just 9 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Impressive scoring drive. Don, several times this season we've talked about answering drives. The Bengals open the game with a 9-minute drive for 7 points. The Jets come back with a 5.5-minute drive for 7 points. It is very, very important when you play in the NFL to answer those scoring drives to keep pace.
Well, the Jets answered it loudly with Tony Page crashing up the middle from 3 yards out for the touchdown. A 7-7 game. Alexander. Nothing there as the Jet linebackers move out quickly. Jets have great lateral pursuit in their linebacking. Mel has played great football this year, and Kyle Clifton, a second-year player, has done a big job too. So the first quarter ends with a standoff. It's the Jets 7 and Cincinnati 7-7 as we're in the second quarter now, early in it, ready to start it. As the Bengals have the ball, their second possession, the Bengals will have the ball 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line. 2nd and 9 at their 21-yard line. They send Eddie Brown out in the left flank. Collinsworth out the top of your screen. Very elusive receiver, not fast, but he's open most of the time. Ziason goes from the shotgun on 2nd down. Moving pocket. There's that strong arm, and Eddie Brown fights for the ball, and it's taken down by his tight end.
That may be offensive pass interference, though.
Rodney Holman got the rebound, but we'll see what the flag is.
Eddie Brown ran a good deep out, 22 yards on the reception, but it did appear that he pushed off the defensive back of the New York Jets. It's going to be a tough call by the officials to decide just who pushed whom.
Well,
illegal chuck on defense number 21. Decline the penalty. First down.
I tell you what, though, Don, they could have called it on either guy. That time it went the Bengals' way.
Fast Eddie Brown was the pushee, so he gets the benefit, and the Bengals get a first down.
You can see that moving pocket by the Cincinnati Bengals to avoid the pass rush and the clearance. It appears to be a rebound caught by Rodney Holman. That'll go as a catch for him.
Now, Boomer Esiason's perfect throwing the ball, 5 for 5 for 67 yards. Alexander. He's big and go fast. 230 and 4-4 a couple of years ago was considered the better player in the country when he came out of LSU. Done a real throw.
That's a drive each for the New York Jets and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm surprised the Bengals were able to go down the field with the relative ease that they did against the Jets. I'm not surprised the Jets were able to go down the field with a relative ease against the Cincinnati Bengals defense. The Bengals defense sometimes they've not shown up on Sunday.
Jets defense came into this game ranked second in the American Conference, but they've given up a lot of yards here in this game. It's 7-7 early in the second quarter. Esiason goes to the run on 2nd and 2, and James Brooks responds. He's down to the 42-yard line of the Jets. It's another first down for Cincinnati.
Tough to judge just how bad the Cincinnati Bengals are or how good the New York Jets are. Look at this, relative records of the two teams. Don, I noticed too that the Bengals, when the Jets come with their pass rush, their 4-man front, that's when the Bengals run the ball. They prefer to trap up through the front on that 4-man front, and that's working very, very well.
Linebacker Kyle Clifton is the man down for the Jets, and so he's being attended to. There's a break in the action with the score, Cincinnati 7 and the Jets 7.
Looking forward to the LCS on NBC. Out of Toronto, we may have to have our Muckalucks on up there to watch.
Won't be easy, but they'll be ready. Tuesday night on NBC Sports, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Now, the game tied, and the Bengals go to the run, and James Brooks is caught and knocked down. Big play by Klecko. Means so much to the Jets to have Klecko back in and healthy. Just, they say, having him in the defensive huddle, Trump, means a lot.
You know, Don, the thing that amazes me about Joe Klecko, he's playing the nose for the New York Jets, and the first time he played the nose was the Pro Bowl, and he liked it. So I always thought Joe was a little different. Now I'm convinced he's different.
Jim McNally, the offensive line coach for Cincinnati, says he presents problems because where he lines up isn't where he usually comes from. He'll jump to the other side. Let's watch him.
4-man front again by the Jets.
Klecko very quick. Now he comes on the rush, and here's Boomer on the shotgun. He's got a track. He can go. Ooh. Good defensive play by Ben Rudolph, who finally ran him down. Kirk Springs was also on the tackle.
Kerry Glenn gave Boomer Esiason a good shot in the shoulder, but from behind the offense, you can see what it looks like to play quarterback. Decent protection by the Cincinnati Bengals. Boomer watched this shot right at the end by Kerry Glenn. Kerry Glenn right on that right shoulder. Boomer, as you said, big guy, but you don't like to see your quarterback taking direct hits like that from anybody.
Boomer had his national TV appearance last Monday night, but Hurricane Gloria wiped out that part of Long Island, at least for television reception. So he's debuting today in New York. Here's Boomer, timing pattern. Fast, steady. Brown goes for the ball. He caught it, but did he get it inbound?
Out of bounds. No way. Strange call, Don. I'm rather surprised to see the Cincinnati Bengals go with a low percentage pass like that, when I think Eddie Brown can beat just about anybody you can find in the NFL. This is timing all the way. Notice Gastineau's lining up on the opposite side of where he normally lines up this year, but that thumb has really hurt him. Fractured, and he's still playing. I admire his guts. I question his smarts.
He's been in there from the start. As you pointed out, Trump, they've gone to the 4-down lineman. Jim Breach ready to try a long-distance hit. This will be a 53-yard field goal attempt with the game tied 7-7 in the second quarter. Wasn't good, but the kick looks to be, if it's far enough, it is. Jim Breach makes a big league hit And a great hold by Steve Kreider. The wide receiver who got that bad snap, put it down right, and the Bengals take the lead.
Radio shot.
A career best for Jim Breach, as Steve Kreider somehow salvaged a bad snap to get the ball down right.
And that's one of the most important things about field goal kickers, that guy placing the ball.
Now Breach hits it off. Bobby Humphrey, who led the National Football League in returns a year ago, gets out across the 15. An outstanding special teams play by the Bengals. Coming down to get him was Don Kern, a 16-yard return, but the Jets will start out inside their 20. Humphrey averaged almost 31 yards a kickoff return last season. He's been out with a fractured wrist since the summer. In fact, was hurt against the Bengals in a preseason game. Kansas City and the Raiders hooking up at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. KC blew out LA the first time around and is out in front now in the second quarter. Seattle needing a win badly. They've given up a load of points and yards, leading San Diego 3-0 in the first quarter. That's at the Kingdome in Seattle. It's 10-7. Cincinnati. Jets with the ball on first down. Freeman McNeil running the ball hard, but not very far. Knocked down by inside linebacker Carl Zander. The Broncos move in front of the Houston Oilers 3-0 at Mile High Stadium. A first quarter score. Rich Carlos with a 37-yard field goal. The Vikings and the Rams are scoreless at Anaheim now into the second quarter of play. O'Brien has put the ball up 5 times, has completed 4 for 86 yards. Might be doing it now on second down and 9. What did I tell you?
Eddie Edwards on the play. Don said during the commercial they'd start giving it to Freeman McNeil. I disagreed. As many wide receivers as they've had open in this second quarter, I'd keep throwing it until the Bengal defensive back started covering my wide receivers. They got 3 yards here in 2 plays.
Now, right there I was referring to my prediction that he was going to throw the ball.
Oh, sorry, Coach. Good idea, though.
He might now, though. More than likely, it's 3rd and a long 5 for the Jets. Interesting formation, and here is O'Brien. Bengals come a-humming. The nose tackle, Tim Crumrye. Very tough man to deal with when you're up close on him like Joe Fields is. He was a top college wrestler at Wisconsin, and he just beat Fields and got straight ahead for the Bengals' second sack of the game.
But watch the game. You see Crumrye go all the way outside the defensive end. The idea is Eddie Edwards draws the offensive line in. Crumrye runs around and makes the sack.
So now the Jets are forced back inside their 15-yard line. They have to punt the ball. Dave Jennings will hit it from about the 3-yard line. Mike Martin, who led the American Football Conference in punt returns, is back for the Bengals. Knuckleball, he hits it high and not very well. Fair catch is made on the Jets side of the field by Martin at the New York 44-yard line.
Don, I don't know how 82 Rodney Holman missed that punt.
So the Bengals get it back, and they have good field position. Back and set to go. The Bengals on offense after a 31-yard punt by Jennings that was almost blocked. Cincinnati leads in the second quarter 10-7. First and 10 now for the Bengals from the Jet 44. Alexander gets away from the original hit, and then the Jets come a strike in it.
Don, the Bengals had a short week this week. They played Pittsburgh on Monday night, but there is an advantage. You can see the defense they faced last Monday night of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And today they're facing the New York Jet defense. Look at the nose man, almost an exact replica of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Of course, the defensive coordinator of the New York Jets, Bud Carson, put that defense in, and that cocked nose man used to be Joe Green. Now the Jets use that with Joe Klecko. So a slight advantage, a little help in preparation for the Jets for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Jets opened and are still going with 4 down linemen in the game. The first time they've shown that this year. Gastineau starting at right end, 99, ready to tee off, and here he comes off the shotgun. Ridden off the play by Munoz as the throw is made down to Collinsworth, and he loses the ball. Penalty markers down also. They could get Munoz on a hold.
Or a late hit.
Yes, it is. It is a late hit.
That ball underthrown by Boomer Esiason. It appeared, Don, that he really didn't want to throw it out there. Collinsworth limping off. That is a big penalty against the New York Jets.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback, number 73, and that's a first down.
On the snap.
costly mistake by Klecko of the Jets. They had the Bengals pinned back. Incomplete pass, but Klecko called for the personal foul that gives the Bengals a first down at the Jet 35-yard line.
Interesting matchup here, too. Gastineau now playing over Anthony Munoz. Now he moves over on the offensive right guard.
Showing a lot of looks defensively in the front of the Jets. Eddie Brown at the top of your screen. He's a flyer, and they've got one-man coverage on him. Look out for Eddie Brown if he's one-on-one. Esiason saw that. Now everybody misfires.
That's going to be on the offense, Don. Tight end moved prematurely.
So the clock is stopped with 8:39 to play in the second quarter. Another penalty marker down. A question that the Jets had to answer today: can their injury-troubled secondary stop or slow down the standout Cincy wide receivers Collinsworth and Eddie Brown?
Illegal motion on the right end on the offense.
One of the things the Bengals in the last 2 weeks have done is pull an awful lot of their offense at the line of scrimmage. Get out of the huddle quickly, go to the line of scrimmage, allow Boomer Esiason to recognize the defense, and then audibilize from there. And today they're doing it again, as they did against Pittsburgh last Monday night.
Tight end who escaped identity on Ben Wright's call was the tight end Rodney Holman. So it's 1st and 15 for Cincinnati. Bengals lead 10-7. Second quarter. Nice throw by Esiason, and he gets Holman down to the 31-yard line. Gain 9. And there's another penalty marker down.
Holding Cincinnati. So we're going nowhere fast here. Kirk Springs coverage on Holman.
Offensive holding number 78, 10-yard penalty.
It's interesting, Trump, to watch Esiason set up. He plays like a guy that's been in the league a long time, stands in there and looks over everybody.
Don, I think a fact that very few people know is that Boomer Esiason was eligible for the 1983 draft, the draft that produced the 6 first-round quarterbacks, 5 going to the AFC East. He saw all those big names, played his 5th year at Maryland, was the first quarterback taken in the 84 draft. Unfortunately, it was in the 2nd round. He could have been the 7th guy in the 83 draft.
Well, he's going to be booming now at that left arm as Esiason has 4 wide receivers set up, and the Jets are showing blitz.
Free play.
By the left early. Hard thrown ball and a great defensive play by Russell Carter coming across the field to slap it away from Eddie Brown, who was open and ready to run with it.
And we got 2 flags on the field, and we got them in different areas here. One at the line of scrimmage and one about 5 yards deep. Offense or defense offsides.
Offside number 73 on a defense.
Pretty hard for a cherub this size not to get caught when he jumps offsides. Joe Klecko. Whoops.
One of those little debutantes up front.
Yes, breakdancing back, trying to get on sides, but didn't quite make it.
So first down comes up now. First down and 20. 4 wideouts still in the game. 2 to each side for the Bengals. Here comes the Jets rush. They pick it up nicely, and Esiason loops it downfield, and Collinsworth takes the ball. What a great catch by Chris Collinsworth. He's down to the 25-yard line of the Jets. Russell Carter finally got him down, but Russell Carter was beaten. It was a truly great play by Collinsworth. Look at the fingertip catch.
20 yards on the reception. Carter on the coverage. Collinsworth at 6 feet 4 inches tall. A tremendous athlete. Don, the highest compliment a coach will pay to a player is he works hard. And here's Gastineau against Mike Wilson. Gastineau once again with that one arm. You can see he's playing the game one arm. And he's still a darn good player with just one arm.
So Russell Carter up tight on Collinsworth, couldn't make the knockdown, and it's a first down and a long yardage play for the Bengals. Esiason 6 for 8 for 87 yards. Alexander had a track to run on had he been able to get 5. But he was knocked down. A rookie linebacker, one of the best athletes on the Jet team, Matt Monger from Oklahoma State.
That was a great play by Monger, too. There was a nice little alley there for Charles Alexander to run. Monger filled that gap and made a very, very big tackle.
Monger, you just saw go off the field, tested #1 among all the Jets at 235 pounds as we see the Raiders in front of Kansas City. in the 12-minute run. He went over 2 miles in the 12-minute run in training camp. Phenomenal for any player, let alone a linebacker that size. Now it's 2nd down and 11 as Esiason has a problem, throws it away, and does well to do that, as coming on a linebacker blitz was outside backer Charles Jackson.
Sometimes you count the quarterback when they make big plays because it's big receptions. It's also a big play when you can avoid a pass rush like that. Jackson had Boomer Esiason dead to rights, and he still is able to get the ball away, avoid the sack, and they come up with 3rd down and 11.
Jets sending people in the game. Springs comes out. Ben Rudolph comes into pass rush. There's some confusion in the Jet defense. They got 12 guys out there, and that's not going to fly, so they quickly call a timeout.
Well, if they don't get caught, it might work, but you can't take that chance.
Works in Canada, but right now the Bengals in the lead 10-7. There's a timeout in the field. We'll be back right after this. It's Cincinnati, 3rd down and 11 as Esiason stands in, fires, and a man is open, and down with the ball at the 12-yard line is wide receiver Mike Martin. It's a 1st down for Cincinnati. 14-yard gain. Kirk Springs got him, and another perfect throw catch.
What the Bengals are doing here with 4 wide receivers, they're forcing the New York Jets to use all the healthy defensive backs they have. And underneath coverage is just not good enough by the New York Jets. They also came with a blitz, so that's single coverage underneath there. Boomer had the time. Martin had the catch.
So the Bengals, Trump, challenging again now. 1st and 10 inside the 12-yard line. And the Jets, who had one stretch in the season went 11 quarters without giving up a touchdown, are hard-pressed to slow the Cincinnati offense. It has scored twice already, has a 10-7 lead on New York. Brooks, great move. Hard hit. He's down to the 10. Now we have a moment to NFL 85. Here's Bob.
With less than a minute remaining in the first quarter at Mile High Stadium, Denver is in front 10-0 against Houston. The pitch to Sammy Winder, then on the end around, Vance Johnson winds up with it. 14-yard carry to the 1. Winder scored from there. Broncos lead it 10-zip. Back to Don and Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Nobody gave the Oilers any breaks in the scheduling. Had to have the toughest out of the gate. Then they lose the game on what were touchdowns but were negated. 2nd down and 8. That was the game at Washington. They had 2 negated. Later replays show were real touchdowns. They ruled that Boomer Esiason was in the grasp, and then Gastineau hit him late.
Oh, that's a bad call on Gastineau. That's a tough call. He doesn't know if Boomer has been called as a sack. Man, that's tough. Joe Walton is all the way out on the football field. There's no question that Gastineau, there's Joe Walton. He's out halfway out to the huddle right now. Sam White, of course, would like to have the call go in his team's favor, but once Bennett got a hold of Boomer Esiason, the officials either got to blow a quick whistle or blow nothing. And Gastineau was in the middle of going after the quarterback. That's tough.
That's a personal foul, roughing the quarterback on a defense.
That's a tough call.
Well, that sure is, because it sends the Bengals, instead of a sack, down closer to the Jet goal line with 5:38 to play in the first half.
Gastineau's just doing his job. That whistle was very late. Gastineau was already firing right at the quarterback. He was damned if he does and damned if he doesn't.
And he might be saying something to that effect right now. So the Bengals get the ball now, moved down to the Jet 10-yard line as Sam White sends in the offense. It is 1st and goal from the 10 for Cincinnati. The Bengals lead the game 10-7. They scored first, drove 80 yards on the opening possession. Boomer Esiason ran it in 11 yards for a touchdown. Jets came right back down the field, and they scored in a short run from 3 yards out by Tony Page. Then Jim Breach hit a personal record 53-yard field goal on the Bengals' last possession. That's how it now stands in the second quarter. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Riverfront Stadium. 1st and goal. Good defensive play by the Jets. James Brooks runs the ball. Coming up to stick him on the play was Rusty Gilboa, a linebacker that's really a rising player, the Jet coaches feel, getting more and more time.
Ran right into the blitz. Now watch this play before. Esiason back to pass. Bennett has a clear shot at him. Gets him by the leg. Whistle's blown, and then you see Gastineau coming late. Oh, that's a tough call. I don't blame Joe Walton for complaining, and complaining long and hard.
Jets defense tested now. 2nd down and 1. Esiason looking in. Here's the rush. Came into Eddie Brown on the 1-hop. Harry Bennett put heat on. So 3rd down and goal arises now for Cincinnati from the Jet 11-yard line.
Well, Don, these are missed opportunities. Bengals have had the ball down here. This is the 2nd time in the 2nd quarter. And the first time they came away with 3 points. Well, it's a psychological lift to the Jet defense to keep him out of the end zone now. 3rd down and 11.
Interesting, both teams, even with the success that Freeman McNeil's had running the ball against Cincinnati in the past, like what they saw on film of the secondaries, because they both have come out throwing. The Bengals setting up now. Big down for Cincinnati, and the Jets 3rd down and goal from the 11. Esiason loops it. Too much on it for Chris Collinsworth. So the field goal unit comes out.
He was open too. Barry Hamilton on the coverage. Esiason now 7 of 12 for 101 yards. This is a tough throw to make because you got to throw it over people and kind of get the nose down on the football. But it's just thrown out of the reach of Chris Collinsworth by ever so slightly. And a plus for the Jet defense. Kept him out of the end zone again.
Jim Breach now looking to give the Bengals a 6-point lead. Remington's the snapper and Kreider's the holder. Right there. So with 4:30 left to play in the first half, the Bengals extend their lead to 13-7. And we'll be back at Riverfront Stadium right after this.
Watching is believing. Look into the mirror and watch Ford Escort swept away by the benefits of Renault. Shoppers who compared found Renault Encore's power and pickup superior. More room inside. They preferred Encore's European style. Upon reflection, 79 of 100 shoppers surveyed found Renault superior overall to Escort, with 550 plus America's best small car protection. Escort owners,
You weren't watching.
I was watching.
By Renault, European technology built in America. Make Renault the one to watch. By Liberty Mutual, America believes in Liberty Mutual for all its auto, home, life, and business insurance needs. And by Mobil One synthetic motor oil. There's no better engine protection under the sun. The Bengals have had the ball 3 times in this game, and they've scored in all 3. Opened with a touchdown, followed with subsequent field goals from Jim Breach. 53 and 29 yards the last. Now Breach is ready to kick the ball off. Bobby Humphrey back to his 1. He can go if they give him a crack, and he's got one. Bobby Humphrey across the 30 and across the 40. And the NFL's leading returner from a season ago could go the distance. But there's a penalty marker down as Bobby Humphrey is also down at about the 10-yard line. Then we'll see if it was ruled a fumble, but the penalty could bring it all way back.
Donnie stepped out of bounds right in front of the New York Jets bench. It'll go as a 55-yard return. It'll be at about the Cincinnati Bengals 43-yard line.
He didn't know he stepped out.
Yeah.
That might have been an opportune fumble try by Humphrey as he pushed it into the end zone, but the play comes back.
He wasn't about to slow down. Down this first snap by the New York Jets, just their 14th so far. One of the problems the Cincinnati Bengals have had is kickoff coverage. They let one go there.
Now the Jets, after a 55-yard return, almost won for the distance, go to the run, and now they're going back to game plan A against Cincinnati as they go to the run, and Freeman McNeil.
This is
Bobby Humphrey.
One of the things that they wanted. Humphrey was on the IR with that cracked wrist. Great speed. And once he gets a little opening, watch him cut to the outside here. Great acceleration. Louis Breeden, 34. We'll see where he steps out of bounds right there.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, no question about it. 55-yard return, good field position for the Jets.
Jets trail 13-7. They've done most of their scoring, have the Jets, in the 2nd and 3rd quarters. McNeil, linebackers jam, and there's not much there on a 2nd and 7. Emmanuel King, a first-round draft choice and a rookie from Alabama, knocked him down.
Also, Tim Crumry, the nose tackle on Joe Fields, able to kind of root hog over there and get a hold of Freeman McNeil's ankle. So far in this game, Bengals defense, they've allowed a lot of yards, but not much for Freeman McNeil, who has been a one-man football team against the Cincinnati Bengals in the past.
McNeil so far has run the ball 6 times for 20 yards. O'Brien, a looping pass to Freeman McNeil out of the backfield, and he's down to the 22-yard line with a first down for the Jets. A 16-yard gain.
Leo Barker was the man in coverage for the Cincinnati Bengals. This guy can hurt you so many ways. You see McNeil just release out of the backfield. This is a well-thrown pass by O'Brien. That's the toughest pass to complete in the NFL, Don. Receiver running away from you like that out in the flat. He showed me something there.
Leo Barker, a bad second in that foot race as McNeil's ahead for a 16-yard gain, and the Jets trailing by 6 are challenging now. Second quarter, 2:20 to play in it. O'Brien stands in, swings it out to Schuler, who's hit in the open field by Reggie Williams. One of the fastest linebackers in the NFL.
That was a key tackle. Schuler was out there by himself. If Reggie Williams doesn't make the tackle, Schuler goes all the way. Half roll by design. They wait for the tight end to clear. And you see there's even a personal escort out there. It's the center fields. Oh, what a tackle by Reggie Williams.
So the 2-minute warning is given. We'll be back at Riverfront Stadium with the Bengals in the lead 13-7.
When the going gets rough, you need a tough 4x4 like this, the 86 Ford Ranger STX. This year, only Ranger offers this new electric shifting system. You just punch a button at any speed and shift from 2-wheel to ground-grabbing 4-wheel drive. And talk about power. Ranger's new 2.9-liter V6 has the most horses of any small truck. The tough 86 Ford Ranger 4x4. The best-built American trucks are built Ford Tough.
There's a style in your life no one could ever deny. You're on your way to the top, and along the way you've always known just who you are. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's Michelob.
Where you're going, it's exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you're going, it's Michelob.
It'll work on your dandruff. Yeah, but I'm afraid it won't leave my hair the way I like it. Hey, this is great stuff.
Today's Head & Shoulders.
It's all I use. Okay.
Tough dandruff protection that works only on your scalp, not your hair. Gentle conditioners go there.
Tough on dandruff, right? But great on hair.
Today's Head & Shoulders. Dandruff care that's good for your hair.
Game day. The NFL 85 locker room. Meet Ahmad Rashad. His beat is the glamour side of the street. You'll get exclusive interviews from a man who really knows his football.
You gotta get him his own dressing room.
Ahmad Rashad. He's been drafted by the team who's putting the fun back in football.
Back to live action. O'Brien swings it out. Running high with the ball is tight end Schuler, and he is down inside the 20. Reggie Williams knocked him down. Mickey Schuler comes in averaging 6 catches a game for the Jets this season.
Total prevent defense by the Cincinnati Bengals. Once again, you see the learning process of Ken O'Brien. Here we go, right back to the line of scrimmage now by the Jets.
Jets going into formation without a huddle. 2-minute offense, 1:30 to play, 1:29 in the first half. Jets trail 13-7. O'Brien fires, and the ball it's caught down at the 6-yard line. Jojo Townsell from the U.S. Football League and UCLA, a 12-yard gain. So the Jets with time winding down to 1:18 to play in the half. Ready to challenge now, 1st and goal. But there is a penalty marker down in the Jet backfield.
That's going to be against the Cincinnati. Personal foul.
That's a personal foul. Roughing the quarterback. Defense 57. That's a first down.
And Reith is dramatic about stating the penalties, isn't he?
Yeah, that was probably a pretty dramatic hit by Reggie Williams, who's made some big plays. Right now, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
Jets break the huddle. 1:18 to play in the first half. You see the numbers. Cincinnati leading 13-7. Jets shift 2 men out wide right quickly, and here's O'Brien looking into the end zone. Fires to Tony Page, who's been in the end zone once. He's knocked down at the 2. Saving tackle on the play. Ron Simpkins, an inside linebacker, got to him. Game clock down to 1:04 now as the Jets call no, they don't call a timeout. It starts up again. It's inside a minute to play.
Ball thrown on the wrong side of Tony Page. He had to turn around to catch it. Had no power. Simpkins makes the tackle for very little gain.
Almost point-blank range now. You got to watch 49. He's the man they like in close, but they go to the man behind him, and down close is Johnny Hector behind the lead back by Tony Page. He's not in. 39 seconds to play. First half.
This Page is a real weapon. Watch him lead Johnny Hector through the line of scrimmage. Ron Simpkins, 56, does an excellent job, and a great tackle by Glenn Collins to keep Hector out of the end zone.
We'll be back right after this.
Around here people seem to say it all without saying a word.
There are still places where you can shake a man's hand, buy him a Miller, and you've got yourself a deal.
Miller's made the American way, born and brewed in the USA, just as proud as the people who are drinking it today.
Miller Beer, purity you can see, quality you can taste.
Miller's made the American way.
Watching is believing. Watch Toyota Corolla reshaped by the benefits of Renault. Watch Renault Alliance's larger trunk burst through. Add more room. A longer wheelbase. Fuel injection under the hood. In fact, 76 of 100 shoppers surveyed chose Alliance superior overall to Corolla. European technology with 550 plus, America's best small car protection. Two-door starts at $58.95. Toyota owners.
You aren't watching the one-to-one.
Renault.
The enemy, potholes. When pavement cracks, it can tear your tires to shreds. Now consider Vector, Goodyear's unique all-season radial. Its crisscross tread has a backbone of belted steel to help repel road hazards and deliver thousands of miles of sure-footed performance. The Goodyear Vector. It simply performs like no other tire in the world.
With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at Cincinnati with the Jets, trailing 13-7 with 39 seconds to play in the first half. Right up close to the Bengal goal line. Johnny Hector goes over the top, and he goes in, and the Jets have tied the game and can now take the lead with the extra point. Johnny Hector, a great athlete. As a collegiate player, he long jumped 26-4. Didn't get that far in this one. This was a high jump.
Did an excellent job, too. Good timing, and that's what's required to jump over that line of scrimmage. Once again, the kickoff return by Bobby Humphrey set this whole thing up. Hector definitely into the end zone.
Now the extra point attempt, and the Jets can take the lead. They'll be on top for the first time in the game as Leahy drills it, and with 36 seconds to play in the first half, got a good one going as it's now a 14-13 game. Jets in the lead. But there is a penalty marker down the extra point. It's against Cincinnati. The extra point is in the books, and the Jets do have the lead. Halftime, we'll be going to Bob and X.
Defense is offside, 5 yards on the kickoff.
And Ahmad at halftime with NFL 85. Right now, we're going to pause for this word as the Jets have the lead for the first time.
Drivers have come to us. They believe in liberty, Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm a safe driver, so I shopped around for car insurance. Liberty Mutual gave me the best protection and saved me money, too. I believe in liberty.
America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Ever since man invented machines to move people, he has sought new ways to defeat the wing's resistance. And now there's a...
Let's to start their last drive, a big kickoff return by just activated Bobby Humphrey. He has no problems with that cracked wrist whatsoever. It's 55 yards as you see him step out of bounds right about there. But the New York Jets take it on in and score 14-13 now. Jets lead the Cincinnati Bengals, and they get the ball to start the second half.
Jets have dropped back Kirk Springs. Also back there is the aforementioned Bobby Humphrey, back after the fractured wrist suffered last August. Doing it just like he did a year ago when he was the best in the National Football League at running back kickoffs. You look at the first half numbers, the Bengals with big dominance in time of possession. What's that? Sam Ratigliano says time means only important if you're in jail. Doesn't affect the scoreboard, not always.
Well, the Bengals scored on their first drive, got the ball to the New York Jet 35 on the second drive, had to settle for a field goal, got the ball to the 11-yard line and had to settle for a field goal. And missed opportunities kill a lot of football teams, and in the first half the Bengals missed 2 opportunities. No turnovers, both quarterbacks on the money. O'Brien 9 of 10, Esiason 7 of 11, and the 100 yards and 29 yards rushing that's amazing with the way Freeman McNeil beats up on this Cincinnati Bengal defense.
Yeah, he had almost that in one half in a playoff game. Ended up with what, 202 for the game,
something like that.
Jim Breach ready to kick it off again from his 30-yard line. The Jets are now into their 4th game without a turnover. They really held on to the ball, and it was a big problem a year ago, and they averaged over 2 turnovers a game. This year they're averaging just over a half a turnover a game.
Well, this is not something the Bengals like. Humphrey with that big kickoff return to end the first half, and now they go back and kick it from the 30, give him another chance.
Larry Pasquale, the Jets special teams coach, said Humphrey, despite 175 pounds of weight, has tremendous strength. He can break tackles, and look at him go again. Bobby Humphrey again gives the Jets outstanding field position as he runs it back 33 yards. The boos start to cascade down here. So Humphrey back in the lineup for the Jets, makes 2 big plays in return.
Just activated this week. One of the people that Joe Walton likes because of his speed, almost a clip there. A good choice by, I believe that was Monger, not hitting Louis Breeden in the back. 1st and 10, great field position for the Jets.
Rich Kotite, the Jets offensive coordinator, said the Cincinnati team gambles on defense, so the Jets were playing to run the same play twice consecutively often. Got to catch him in the gamble. Here is a throw, and Wesley Walker makes his 2nd catch of the day. His first, you remember, was a 37-yarder that led to the Jets' first touchdown. 2nd reception of the season for Wesley Walker, back off the injury list and hasn't lost a step in his 9th year.
Ross Browner right in the face of Ken O'Brien that time. Browner was free. Somebody missed him totally. But that's the way the Jets started the game last week against the Indianapolis Colts. Soft coverage by the corner, will throw it to Sohn. This time they throw it to Walker.
O'Brien really a rising player under the tutelage of Zeke Krakowski, and here is a swing pass well caught by Freeman McNeil, and he's ahead for a Jet first down to the 45-yard line of Cincinnati.
Up in the trenches, Joe Fields, the center and captain of the New York Jets, versus Tim Krumrie. And this is a matchup that you expect Joe Fields to do very well with, even though he has a badly pulled groin muscle. See the way he gets his arms up underneath the nose tackle? If he can stand that nose tackle up, and he's got him stalemated, which he did. Fields 1, Krumrie 0.
Jets, though, with a 1-point lead now, mounting good field position on first down, and they go to the run, and Tony Page doesn't get much. Looked like he tripped on the 45-yard line.
Reggie Williams, 57, was in there to take on Freeman McNeil. Normally the opposite happens. McNeil carries it. Page blocks. Scored on 2 of 3 possessions. Have not had the ball, did not have the ball but 10 minutes in the first half.
2nd down now and 8 for the New York Jets. Leading 14-13 early in the 3rd quarter. Page out of the backfield, has room to run, and he puts his head down to the 27-yard line. There was a great pass block on the play by Freeman McNeil. Instead of swinging out, he stayed in, knocked down a linebacker who was coming, and that gave O'Brien just that split second. Watch 24.
15 yards on the catch by Page. A game up front. Looks like it's going to the official. Looks like linebacker coverage. Page with a big pickup.
Wesley Walker can block too.
He's a tough kid. On Ray Horton. Horton finally makes a tackle. 1st and 10 Jets.
So the Jets starting to challenge from the 27 on first down. O'Brien looks into the end zone. Timing pattern. Oh, no flag, at least yet. Louis Breeden was covering Walker on the play, and very nearly a defensive interference.
There's very few people in the NFL that can match stride for stride with Wesley Walker, healthy or injured. Once again, you see Walker get deep on Breeden, the ball thrown outside. Walker has no chance for a catch. Good pass protection by the Jet offensive line. 2nd and 10.
Jet coaches say 9 years in the league, he can still split his own defense just with sheer speed. Run by it.
And he's blind in one eye.
And had a major knee operation in California. Imagine what he'd be if he was healthy.
Yeah, really.
2nd and 10. O'Brien swings it out and a little too much on it. Well done by O'Brien, who's not getting up, or at least not quickly. Holding his right arm. Tony Page was the intended receiver. Ron Simpkins, 56, a linebacker, came in to get him. Chris Barr just kicked a field goal for the Raiders as they open their lead up to 10-3 over Kansas City now at halftime at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. San Diego, with a Mark Herman to Wes Chandler touchdown throw, has taken a 7-6 lead over Seattle in the second quarter. Denver, John Elway just threw to Steve Watson for 41 yards for a Broncos score way out in front of the Houston Oilers. The Rams on 2 Michael Lansford field goals lead the Vikings at the half 6-0. 3rd and 10 for the Jets. 4-man rush. O'Brien throws. And they ruled it a reception. Beautifully done by Kurt Sohn. He got the feet down. And Sohn is down to the 10-yard line. Maybe the play of the day.
That was an outstanding catch. But what was even better is that Sohn is able to keep both feet in bounds. Jimmy Turner on the coverage. He lets up on him here a little bit, thinking the ball's going out of bounds. 1 foot down. 2nd foot down. Outstanding. Whoa, what a ballet on the sideline for a first down.
Sohn had a career day a week ago against Indianapolis at Giant Stadium when he caught 8 passes for 112 yards. O'Brien said they left him open, so we went to him. Now the Jets challenging 1st and goal from the Bengal 10. Freeman McNeil caught and knocked down by Ross Browner. That time a cat-quick defensive end, Ross Browner, now in his 8th year from Notre Dame. He won the Outland and Lombardi Awards as a senior. And he was quicker than Freeman McNeil, which rarely happens. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Bengals and the National Football League is prohibited. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy, Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. The Jets lead in the 3rd quarter, 14-13, and they're challenging 2nd down and goal from the Bengal 12. Page was thinking touchdown. He scored 1 today, but you see he lost the ball, and now 3rd down and 12 arises. 3rd and 12 for a touchdown.
Double coverage on the outside receivers. You watch O'Brien looking all over the place for help. That movement brought to him by Zeke Bradkowski, ready to throw it. He did. Page wasn't ready to catch it. 3rd down.
So the Jets now come up with a 3rd and goal play from the 12. See the 2 QBs, O'Brien in his 3rd year, Esias in a 2nd-year quarterback. They both have the whole package, size, strong arms, and they can read. There's a throw, and it's to the wrong side of Mickey Schuler, so the Jets don't go in, but they do get a field goal shot. JoJo Townsell was one intended receiver, and Schuler was breaking the other way.
I have a feeling someone didn't run the right pattern. Schuler's on the outside. We got him isolated here. He's got a good release. Townsell on the inside. Schuler bounces off Turner, but the ball goes between Townsell and Schuler. No one even close for the reception. Here we go for a field goal.
See Leahy last week what he did. 4 for 4. This is a 30-yard attempt. Pat Ryan holds. Pat Leahy is right on time again, so the Jets now extend their lead to 17-13, and we'll be back with their kickoff in a moment.
Last year, Dodge made a very dramatic announcement. In a very dramatic way. We announced that every truck we build, every full-size pickup, van, wagon, and Ram Charger comes with our 5-year or 50,000-mile protection plan. And back then, we challenged Ford and Chevy to match that coverage. But you know what? Ford and Chevy still fall short. Dodge, still the best back trucks in America. And that's guaranteed.
Last fall, history's biggest run took place. The 5-mile Stroh's Run for Liberty. This year's run will be even bigger. It's in 127 cities, and it's sponsored by Stroh's, with support from the Plymouth division of Chrysler. Your entry fee will help restore the statue. And whether you run or walk, you'll get a medal cast from materials used to build her a century ago. Enter at participating Chrysler Plymouth dealers or wherever you buy Stroh's. Then join us for her sake.
Old Spice deodorant has over 70% ethyl alcohol. As the alcohol evaporates, so does some of your protection. Speed Stick deodorant has no alcohol. The Wide Stick. Man-size protection that's more effective than Old Spice even after 24 hours. All-day protection that won't evaporate. Speed Stick. The Wide Stick.
By Mandan. Shaving's rough on sensitive skin, but aftershave skin conditioner soothes.
Sensible care for sensitive skin. AFTA.
By Mandan.
Today's game is brought to you by America's Best Back Trucks. At Dodge, we don't just talk tough, we prove it. By Stroh and Stroh's Light, the circle of sports beer. And by Goodyear, makers of the great performing all-season radial Vector.
Don Bagel's first chance in the second half. They scored on their first 3 drives of the first half.
Now they hit it off to the Jets. Too deep for Mike Martin to bring out, so the Bengals will out to their 20-yard line, 1st and 10. It's been tough up front. A lot of hard line play as Boomer Esiason comes out. They move well early in the going 80 yards, their most impressive drive now of the season, certainly one of them.
Surprising, though, the Bengals have been able to score almost at will against everyone. Just 13 points in the first 3 drives of the ball game. Not enough.
James Brooks, a line behind Esiason. Charles Alexander comes in motion as Brooks runs behind him, and James Brooks with a great move turns across the 25. They'll spot Brooks out at the 28-yard line. He got 8. Small, but so quick, and reads his blocks so well. He's gained 34 and 10 carries now.
Watch the way they pull out Max Montoya, 295 pounds, 65, right in front of James Brooks. He's now an excellent running back. Last week, his best performance as a Cincinnati Bengal. Esiason in that first half, 7 of 11, 103 yards, and the Bengals' only touchdown rushing.
Now, 2nd down and just over a yard. Cincinnati trailing in the game. Here's the handoff and straight ahead, and very well. Charles Alexander. It's not easy at nose tackle, particularly when you got a couple guys hitting on you.
Now you watch Joe Klecko, the way he offsets Remington right in front of him. He likes to jump to the other side of the center. And that time he just kind of buries himself. Max Montoya, he's giving himself up there. He's trying to get a linebacker free. I can't believe anybody in their right mind would like that, but Joe does.
It's called the dig a hole and bury him shot. 1st down now for the Bengals. Big Boomer swings it out. And a penalty marker goes down on the incomplete pass. Klecko had a rush on. Getting back at those Bengals. Remington's 300 pounds that was blocking on him, and Montoya's almost.
Blados is over 300 pounds, 305 pounds. Oh, illegal use of the hands by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Illegal use of the hands on the offense, number 65. That's a 10-yard penalty.
That's against Max Montoya.
Montoya and Blados are the guards. It's Kenny Anderson across the way signaling in the play. Joe Walton checking the stands, counting the house, and counting his winnings right now. His Jets they were trailing earlier, now leading 17-13. 10:41 to play in the 3rd quarter. Eddie Brown is near side, bottom of your screen. Esiason takes a look, swings it out again. Good coverage by the Jets. That's just good defense by the Jets. He wanted to go deep, but there was nothing, so he swung the ball out to the outlet man, and Gilbo again made the play at outside linebacker.
That was a screen set up, and this is well done by Gilbo. You see 52 Remington right out there in front, but Brooks can't get by that first tackler. Bennett there to clean up for very little gain. 2nd down and about 20 now for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Long way to go for Boomer Esiason, who will take the shotgun snap back at his 17. Jets digging those linebackers into the gaps. Hamilton threatening blitz from a safety position. Hamilton's coming, plays whistle dead.
Too much time.
Jets looking to throw some curves at the young Cincinnati quarterback, Bud Carson, their coordinator.
Start number 78, offense.
Munoz. Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator for the Jets, is very good at that, and they came in planning to confuse Esiason if they could.
Carson, when he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, was able to come up with the right defensive call at the right time. That time disrupted the Bengals enough to now make it 2nd and about 25 for a first down.
Munoz has the biggest face mask I've ever seen. You could put one of those little tigers and keep him in there.
But you don't want to.
2nd down and long way. 2nd and about 25 as Esiason's now back to his 12-yard line. The Jets are set to come again. They hold it off with a 3-man rush, cover with 8. Another penalty marker down. The completion's made to Martin of Cincinnati. But there's a marker down in Bengal backfield, and the signal is against Cincinnati.
Holding against Cincinnati. They're going nowhere fast here.
Jet defense, which came in as the second-rated defense in the American Conference, starting to dominate now here in the 3rd quarter with 9:43 to play in it, and the Jets in the lead 17-13.
Offensive holding number 77, half the distance to the goal.
Mike Wilson on Mark Gastineau. You see, going from the up spot. I guess they ruled that his left arm was holding him up, and therefore it's holding on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Good play, I think, by Wilson. He'd have got a clean shot. That old Weave Eubank axiom. Talking about Namath, he said, I don't care if it costs 15 yards or 15 miles. Don't let him hit him.
Not quite the same, though. That wasn't clearly a holding call. It's more at times just the position of the hands and the arms.
And there wasn't that much loss because they're backed up already. Boomer's got to have a good arm right now just to get it the distance of a first down. He's got to put it about 45 yards somewhere it'll drop just to get it there. That's a rip. He's got a man with the ball. Chris Collinsworth. He does not have the first down, though.
No flag.
But he does have another down to get it. Now there's a flag after the play. 29-yard gain. Jets say it's against Cincinnati again. What was that for?
He spiked the ball, which is a delay of game. Mr. Dryden and company calling it pretty close here. Collinsworth can't believe it.
Number 80 on the offense spiked the ball when the clock was running. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Isn't that awful? Ben must have been up late with the rule book.
There's no question that is a foul. It's called delay of game. But let's see just how he spikes the ball. That's Chris Collinsworth's question. He makes the catch. He gets up. That's a spike. There's no question about it.
One of the worst things I've ever seen on a football field. That was awful.
Well, I also don't like the fact that they've taken the celebration out of the game, which this is a part of.
What was it Al Davis said? He said our owners are over in Hawaii legislating against spiking the ball, and the USFL signing all the top draft choices.
Now, that was a couple of years ago. I don't think they're saying that now, though.
No, they're not.
3rd down and 11.
Esiason against a blitz, timing pattern, Eddie Brown, and he's in it. No, it's lost. Gary Glenn almost had an interception, the rookie. Nice coverage against fast Eddie Brown, and so the Bengals can't convert, and now they'll have to punt the ball to the Jets, and they should get good field position, New York.
Eddie Brown complaining about contact. You see the blitz coming, everybody coming, but both can try for the football. Glenn looking back, and that's incidental contact now in the NFL. I believe this is McAnally's first punt of the day, is it not? It is.
Been around a long time. Big guy from Harvard. Still can hit it a long way. Former consensus All-Pro. Also a good wide receiver, although he doesn't get much work there now. It's a line drive downfield. Kirk Springs at his 25. Look out. Kirk Springs, penalty markers down. It's coming back.
Don, I see guys on that punt coverage team for the Cincinnati Bengals. They're all about the same speed. An awful lot of linebackers. That's a 43-yard punt, 35-yard return, which will be brought back.
Illegal block in the back on the receiving team, number 31, 10-yard penalty.
Marion Barber on the penalty.
We'll be back with the Jets going 1st and 10 right after this. Many years ago, an angular young man like Lochinvar came out of the West. His name was Bob Trumpy. Here's Sam Weich, now the Bengal coach, throwing.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Take it in, Trump.
I thought he'd drop it before he got to the... you can tell I didn't score much because watch his spike. Right back up on the nose.
He only caught 300 passes for the Bengals, though, did Trumpy. Here's a quick out, and the ball is taken out of the 30-yard line. Jets got about 6 on the play. Well-thrown ball, timing pattern out.
Well, you know,
Stone gets another.
Don, when you're an offensive player and you get a 10-yard cushion, the cornerback on you, that's a cheap 8-yard pickup. You're going to take that all day long, and the Jets have.
That last footage was dug out of the Samuel Goldwyn archives. Our producer, David Neal. Our director is John Gonzalez here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. 8:15 to play 3rd quarter. Walker, the deep speeds on the left. That's where they might be going. And Ryan dumps it off. Short man Schuler takes it. He's out to the 40-yard line. He has a Jet 1st down.
We got a flag down, Don. If that pass is complete and it counts, O'Brien is now 15 of 19 for close to 200 yards and an outstanding day so far for the young man.
I have to tell you something, Trump. That was one of the best looking
Defense
touchdown
holding
receptions.
number 53, decline a penalty, result of the play, 1st down.
Maybe that was the worst spike I've ever seen.
I didn't get to practice it much. Paul didn't like spikes. No, I didn't get a penalty for spiking the ball. We were allowed to celebrate then.
Now the Jets come out. 1st down and 10 at their 42-yard line. Jets lead the game 17-13, 7:48 to play in the 3rd quarter. Raymond McNeil, Irk Keane on 24. When he gets it, they're ready.
How in the world did Eddie Edwards miss him in the backfield? They've certainly stopped him today. 350 yards total offense. Rushing in the last 2 appearances against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals have stopped him, but their wide receivers are open all over the field, Don.
Bengals have given up tons of yards, and O'Brien will be looking for some now on the throw in 2nd down and 10. Oh. Well done by Sohn. He's really coming on.
Well, you know, it's amazing how an injury to a player or players and someone emerges. Sohn, I think at the beginning of August, had very little chance to make this team as a regular receiver because he was a special teams player. Wesley Walker goes out. Lamb Jones comes out. This guy is an all-pro for the New York Jets in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Caught 8 last week for 112 yards. 4 more today for 56. 3rd down and short. Ryan goes to Walker, and Wesley Walker has a 1st down for the Jets. Clock continues to run. 6:25 to play 3rd quarter. Jets continue to lead 17-13.
That's just cheap yardage. Ken O'Brien rolls a little bit to his left. Ray Horton must respect Wesley Walker's speed. Just a little hitch pass and a 1st down pickup. I don't blame him for throwing it. They haven't covered it yet.
Raiders and Chiefs hooked up in a big fight in the AFC West. Still 10-3 Raiders in the 3rd quarter. Raymond McNeil looks to put a move on, but he couldn't lose Ross Browner. The right end, number 79, knocked him down. Gain on the play of about 3.
One of the things that helps a wide receiver of the experience of Wesley Walker, that play was a running play, Don, but he tore off the line of scrimmage like he was going 75 yards deep for a reception. Ray Horton backing up once again, that time Walker just with a block. That's the experience of a Wesley Walker.
Walker comes near side now. He's got experience and he's got deep speed. O'Brien looking deep, fires out. Again, Schuler comes underneath the coverage. They're doubling up on the wide receivers, and Schuler, so experienced, so adroit at reading the defenses like his quarterback, just comes underneath the zone and gets another one.
But he's out of bounds. They're not going to count it. Watch his feet. You got to have 2 feet in bounds in the NFL. There's 1, and he can't quite get that 2nd one down. He tries to tippy-toe on the sidelines. Almost a completion. And have you ever seen receivers more wide open than in this game?
Well, as we were pointing out, Trump, in the last 2 games, the combined yardage of the Chargers and the Steelers against the Cincinnati defense totals just under 1,000. San Diego had 515 in a 44-41 lead. Steelers had over 440 Monday night, but they lost to the Bengals.
Blitz.
They get him. Big play by Cincinnati. Reggie Williams, the veteran from Dartmouth. The fastest linebacker on this team and most others.
3rd sack. He's untouched from the outside. You can see a last-minute adjustment by the Bengals defense. They try to consume offensive linemen. That allows Reggie Williams free. Nobody touches him. 3rd sack of the day.
And that took the Jets out of field goal range, so Dave Jennings is in to punt the ball. And again, the man who led the American Conference of the National Football League in punt returns a season ago, Mike Martin, is back for Cincinnati.
Too much time. They'll take 5 yards and kick it again.
Stops the clock with 4:38 to play in the 3rd quarter. Jets led at halftime. They scored in the final minute of the 1st half to take a 14-13 lead, their first lead of the game. And they've extended it with a field goal.
Offense, the ball stays right there.
All right, Ben. We'll leave it there if you say so. I get the feeling that when Ben Dryth calls out penalties, he's trying to discipline us. You know, I've had principals in grade school like him.
So Jennings stands back at his 39-yard line, awaiting the snap from Guy Bingham. It's another knuckleball. It's going to take a funny bounce. The Jets going to down that as fast as they can because it was coming back at them.
Another flag down. 17-yard punt by Dave Jennings. What's this one? The ball spiked itself. That's illegal.
Well, we're waiting as you are with 4:27 to play in the 3rd quarter. I'm going to get this right here.
He will tell us convincingly whatever the penalty might be.
A major conclave across the way as we have the penalty marker down. 2 punts today for Jennings and a 24-yard average, well under the almost 43 yards he's been punting the ball for the Jets.
And both were almost blocked. That time Ross Browner, 79 of the Bengals, very close to blocking the punt.
And now Ben Dryth says,
well, he's directing out there, isn't he? He's got things in control.
If not in control, at least he's working on it.
He's a salesman when it comes to announcing these penalties.
Now Ben Dryth says,
the kicking team had an illegal bat. They declined a penalty. The receiving team will take the ball where the ball went out of bounds.
All right.
Thank you very much. Jennings doesn't like it, as you might understand. We'll be back.
Shh, be very...
The ball, Hamilton with it. Jets got it going the other way.
So the Jets have it. Joe Walton isn't too over-thrilled, but he'll be back and ready to go.
Fuel-injected Dodge Lancers come with optional turbochargers, and you can't expect that kind of power to stay put.
It's the boys' night out, and they're cruising around. The boys' night out, and they're doing the town. They're revving up, heading out, looking for fun.
Dodge Lancers. We just can't keep them in the showroom.
Now, as I understand it, Bobby, in baseball, you keep your players in a bullpen, choke your bats, and steal bases?
That's right, Freddie, and just about everybody drinks light beer from Miller.
Oh, this is the one that's less filling.
Right again, and that's important to an old base stealer like me, and it tastes great.
Certainly does. Now, about these bases, mate, how many did you steal?
681.
Wow. 681? Blimey. Where do you keep them all?
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
That's a big step, Tom.
I'm still gonna go to college, Dad, but after the Army.
I thought you wanted to be an electrical engineer.
I'll be learning about electronics, and I can qualify for the new GI Bill and new Army College Fund.
If you qualify, the new GI Bill and new Army College Fund can help you save over $25,000 for tuition.
So you're going to be a soldier?
Yeah. Be all that you can be. And an engineer. Find your future.
Be a good one.
In the Army.
Jets trying hard to put the Bengals away. So far, they haven't been able to do it.
Well, with their wide receivers, though, and the soft coverage that the cornerbacks of the Bengals are given, I feel very good if I were the Jets offense.
Tony Page tries to go wide for New York, and he's knocked down a first-year linebacker, Zander. Carl Zander from Tennessee. 91 hit him. They like Zander. Great big linebacker out of New Jersey.
He's replacing Glenn Cameron, longtime middle linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals. But Don, I repeat, with the soft coverage by these cornerbacks on the wide receivers of the New York Jets, Joe Walton, Ken O'Brien, and all those receivers got to feel very good.
Jets now go second down and almost 10. O'Brien's not been intercepted and going on 4 games. Long ball arm, and Wesley Walker. He is no sooner said. That'll be a touchback. Momentum carried him in. Louis Breeden intercepted. I don't spot it where he got it. That's his forward progress out to the 6-yard line.
That's going to be at the 6-yard line. You're absolutely right, Don. Good call. Strange.
Just said O'Brien hadn't been intercepted in 4 games.
Excellent coverage by Louis Breeden. Got inside Wesley Walker. His ball is thrown well by Ken O'Brien, but you can see Crumry right in his face. He can't follow through. At the point where he makes the interception, right there. Louis doesn't know what to do. He goes into the end zone, and it comes out to the 6. If he's at the 5-yard line, Don, and goes into the end zone, that'll be a touchback. But at the 6, that's where they'll get the ball.
Safety. He got...
Whoa, wait a minute.
He got the ball on the 6-yard line. Took it in the end zone. That's a safety.
Holy Toledo. That means the Jets get the ball back.
Yep. Be a free kick from the 20.
And he comes down at the 6-yard line.
He did run in.
Yeah, he runs. Yes, but I don't think there's any way in the world you can give him a safety. The worst jeopardy you can put them in is to give them the ball at the 6-yard line. The official is saying that he ran into the end zone on purpose. Yeah, that can't possibly be the case. But this, you talk about an expensive call. The Jets get 2 points. The Bengals have to kick off. The Jets get the ball again. Ben Dreitz is explaining it to Sam White. It is clearly stated in the rule book that if the ball is caught at the 6-yard line, it returns to the 6 if your momentum takes you in the end zone.
But after he caught it, Trump, he was still striding. He might have been looking to make a return. It was a judgment call. Actually, they all are.
But in that judgment, he's trying to read Louis Breeden's mind.
Which takes some doing.
This is right behind the quarterback. You see the pressure on O'Brien. He can't quite get it there. And at the point where he was going to come back out, he was tackled by the receiver. Boy, you talk about a tough call. The rule book clearly states this. You couldn't ask for a better situation for the New York Jets.
Sam White's counseling his defense. Bill Walsh, the coach of the 49ers, called Sam White the best mind in the National Football League. White's coached the passing game at San Fran when the 49ers beat the Bengals in Super Bowl 16, 26-21. McInally on the free kick will hit it with a punt. Bengals are not a happy lot right now. They might be ready to bite. Kirk Springs and JoJo Townsell are back for the Jets. McInally hits a beauty. Springs at his 24. Channel open, and Kirk Springs is on the run with blockers in front. And he is all the way down to the 18-yard line of Cincinnati, and they don't like it in the Queen City.
That call absolutely took all the fight out of the Cincinnati Bengals. Officials are supposed to rule the football field, but they should not decide momentum. I disagree with that call completely, totally. The Jets had a tough call on them when Mark Gastineau was called for roughing the passer, but that's a 58-yard return on the free kick by the Cincinnati Bengals.
And ultimately, it could be the difference in this ball game as the Jets are leading 19-13 after the safety. Pitch back now. Page with blockers out in front. Great block by Marvin Powell, and Page is down to the 15-yard line. Only got about 3. Louis Breeden, the left side corner, who had his interception turn into a safety, was the man who made the knockdown.
We just got word from the Jet bench that Harry Hamilton has gone to the Jet locker room to have his shoulder x-rayed. Whoa, what a killing penalty. What a killing choice by the officials for the Cincinnati Bengals, Don.
Now the Bengals dig in. They'll be going for the football. Freeman McNeil almost broke it. As it was, he got ahead on a 2nd down and 6 play down close to the 10, and we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
1:30 left to play in the 3rd quarter. The clock is running. The Jets, who led 14-13 at halftime, have now extended their lead to 19-13 on a 3rd quarter field goal and a 3rd quarter safety called against Cincinnati. Right now, the Jets are driving, which could be a very big score. They're down in less than 2 for the 1st down. Oh, that was a big league hammer. Bengals knocked the right ball carrier back, and Horton has the ball and is heading.
Keep running. Keep running. The officials have not made any motion whatsoever. No one has done anything. That is still a free ball. Ray Horton can run the ball in the end zone. I don't think there'll be a call on anybody,
but there's a 2nd football on the field.
I can't believe this. No official made any sign whatsoever. None. 0.
Well, they won't put this one in the teaching reel.
The officials got to be in control. Not only sound like they're in control, but be in control. There is yet to be any sign by the officials on this play.
Here's a penalty marker now.
That'll be against Cincinnati. This game is out of control.
I think you're right.
Absolutely out of control. I guarantee you there is no official made a call yet.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 57. 15-yard at the 1st down.
I tell you, Ben Dreith might need a beard and a black hat to get out of this ball yard.
Well, if on replay you show me any official making any sign whatsoever, even marking where the ball was, and they get a 1st down. Now watch once again. The runner is stopped. Let's see if the ball is loose. Can't tell. No way. But no official makes any indication as to whether the ball is dead or alive. See the umpire standing right there making no sign whatsoever.
Well, there's no complaints on the Jet side as they continue to march onward, aided and abetted by the penalty calls. Here's Freeman McNeil turning wide, and they hem him in on another big stick. Nicely done by Bobby Kemp, one of the hardest hitting safeties in the NFL. 1st and goal from the 6, a gain of only a yard.
Once again, let's watch the disputed play. Page on the lead block. Hector has the ball. He still has the ball. He's on the ground. It's no fumble. There's no question about that. There's no fumble. But the officials make no sign whatsoever. Nobody on the field knows what to do.
There was actually a loss of a yard and a half on that carry by Freeman McNeil. It is now 2nd down and goal for the Jets from the 7. Touchdown, Jets. Mickey Schuler's in the end zone. That could be the game breaker as the Jets extend their lead to 25-13.
Well, the Jets last year were 6-2 in their first 8 games and 1-7 in their second 8. And this is a much improved football team, the New York Jets. But in the last 5 minutes, they have gotten their share of breaks. Pass to Schuler, you see him held up at the line of scrimmage. But the receiver is always supposed to win that battle He does against Carl Zander, the rookie out of Tennessee. 6 points, New York Jets.
That's the first score of this season for Mickey Schuler. Now, Pat Leahy looking to put up a 26th point, and he does. And so it's happened faster in the third quarter for the Jets, as with 44 seconds to play in the third quarter, the Jets have opened up a 26-13 lead.
Schuler last year with 68 catches. Quarterbacks have a nasty habit. They seem to throw the ball to those guys that are open. Schuler's open a lot. See the good protection. He wins the battle with the linebacker in the end zone.
Schuler is just a great game player. Say, when it's game day, boy, you can tell it is just by looking at his face. He's out to knock people down. He's averaging almost 6 catches a game this season. Sam Wyche and his Bengals now are hard pressed. They were right in it. And all of a sudden, the Jets, with a field goal, a safety, and now a touchdown in the third quarter, have doubled the Cincinnati number of points into the 26-13 game. 9-point turnaround due to that safety.
Now the Bengals had the interception, goes as a safety, and cost them 9 points.
The Yankee players say that Brent Saberhagen is the best pitcher in baseball, at least in their opinion. Many of the Yankees. Kansas City Royals, with Saberhagen and all those good hitters and all that speed, head into Toronto, Canada for the opener of the American League Championship Series Tuesday night on NBC Sports. Now the kickoff downfield. Martin won't bring it out.
Bengal offense has been on the sideline for a good long period now, Don. It's not chilly in Riverfront Stadium, but let's see what that 9-point turnaround does to this football team.
Well, one thing it has to do, Trump, it has to mean that Boomer's got to air out that left arm and let it rip, because down by 2 touchdowns, 26-13, with 39 seconds to play in the third quarter, the Bengals need some big plays, and they've got people on the flanks that can give them. Martin's on one side, Eddie Brown on the other. Eddie Brown running a fly pattern. They swing it out and over the middle out to the 24-yard line. Now that should be a late hit. It is. We're here at the fights and a football game broke out.
James Brooks on the reception. Striped shirts have played a big part in this football game. Maybe too big.
Long way to go. We're still in the third quarter. 29 seconds to play in it.
Number 21 on the offense, unsportsmanlike for kicking. 15-yard penalty.
You called the late hit on the New York Jets. They called the penalty on James Brooks, responding to the late hit. Here's the pass reception, a simple delay underneath to James Brooks. Mel, as always.
Watch the guy come in and hit him as hard as he can.
And there's the kick, and the flag is on the offense.